Hey, F&True followers, JC Styles here of F&True Wrestling.
Brian Crazy here.
And we are here with our Over the Limit 2011 review. It just went off the air literally like less than 5 minutes ago, and we're going to get right into it. The first match of the night, we saw Rey Mysterio versus R-Truth.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent match. I do have to say it was pretty much very one-sided. Turned out to be a squash match. R-Truth dominated. Rey Mysterio came back with a couple quick-paced, high-flying moves like I anticipated him to clashing in two different styles. Kind of like I said in the predictions video, I really anticipated Rey Mysterio was going to have to pull some sort of trick out of his hat to kind of overcome R-Truth at this point, and R-Truth just dominated him.
Yes, like I said in the predictions, I thought this match was going to be kind of like 50-50 because I both like Rey and I also like R-Truth as well. I also stated in the predictions that if they were going to push R-Truth in the direction as the heel, that he needs to be able to have his next couple of big matches with him winning them. He wound up picking the win up tonight. It was a very good, grueling match between both competitors, gave it all, and was pretty much kept me on the edge of my seat because I've seen R-Truth's vicious side, but I think with him going in against someone a little bit smaller than him, it really cemented him as a heel. Yeah.
Well, the nice part about this too is R-Truth as a heel in TNA, he fought a certain group of guys. Yeah. R-Truth as a heel in WWE, it's a whole different group of guys, which brings a little bit different dynamic to it.
People.
Exactly. I mean, if Morrison didn't have to go out on the injury, which, as I've heard, Morrison's been this injury's been nagging him for some time, and that was just a convenient way to write him out of the storylines, which they do with a lot of these injuries, guys. You got to think it is one big show, but at the end of the day, the feud between them was starting to heat up so much. I would have loved to see them fight tonight.
Yeah, and you know, it just goes to show you that anything can happen in wrestling. You know, injuries, altogether, deaths. I mean, the show must go on, and we were actually the original plan for the pay-per-view tonight was supposed to see R-Truth, Morrison, Rey Mysterio, Del Rio, and then I'm pretty sure probably the Sin Cara Chavo match probably would have got bumped down or to the dark match, or probably wouldn't have been even a booked match on the card.
Well, I mean, with all the time later on we'll go into it, but they did a promo with Alberto Del Rio, and all the time they burnt that in video packages, they could have squeezed in a ninth match.
Yeah.
They definitely could have squeezed in a ninth match. There was 8 on the card. It was a pretty decent card, I do have to say.
I think we could have did without the Divas match, maybe.
Well, the Divas match,
and maybe the promos, they could have given maybe the world. They probably could have given the tag team title match a little bit more, or maybe even given the Wade Barrett IC title match a little bit more.
Well, the problem is that you've got 2 divas in the match. I'm not saying that they're bad divas. They're good at their certain niches where they film them.
Yes.
But you got 2 divas that really just aren't.
Sorry guys, I just saw a freaking huge spider crawling in the corner there.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, sorry about that. I was like, I don't like spiders either. But you got 2 divas that fill their niches, but they're not really like big-time women's competitors. No. Like, I would have much rather seen Eve and Maurice, or Eve and Beth Phoenix.
Well, Kelly could shine as long as she's in the ring with someone who could help, carry her.
I think they did okay, but okay at best. Yeah. And I think if we got to see like Del Rio fight or something,
maybe even if we're able to get to see Maurice versus Kelly or Eve versus Kelly.
Well, I think the Bellas deserve a little bit of credit because I have seen them in person along with JC.
But the only thing is they use the switcheroo too much.
Well, that's their gimmick. They're twins. They're going to use the switcheroo. That's how they're going to try to get over. They don't have many other tricks up their belt except for that one.
Yeah.
But
second match of the night was it the Divas match or was it the Sin Cara Chavo match? I think it might have been the Divas match, no?
Well, we might get the order mistaken, but we pretty much just covered the Divas match. Yes. We see Brie Bella retain the championship.
Yes.
Then we go into Sin Cara Chavo, which I'm glad this didn't turn out to be a dark match. I'm glad we got to see this. When I heard Sin Cara's music hit, Ask JC, I actually got excited. I was like, nice, we get to see this. I don't know, what did you think of the match? I didn't think it was that great.
It wasn't that great, but Sin Cara pulled it.
Sin Cara did.
He carried the match.
And it's a shame because Chavo should have carried it, but Chavo has not
been on TV.
He hasn't been on TV. He hasn't had the time to hone these skills to get back to the fast-paced luchador style that he knows, loves, practices, whatever metaphor you want to use to call it by. Chavo is an incredible athlete, and I think if he was given a little more time to hone his skills, he would have delivered a lot more tonight.
Yeah, all in all, I would say probably hands down this match was pretty decent. I mean, I enjoyed it.
It was not bad.
There was a
Chavo
lot of
had
nice...
a couple spots where I thought he really was going to run with it and dominate. I really did.
And like I said in the prediction show, I mean, what it was, I think it is like Chavo wasn't really ready for Sin Cara. He wasn't ready for the quickness that Sin Cara brings to the ring. And at the very end of the match, I think what was supposed to turn into like a head scissors into like, kind of like a 619 position, wound up turning into like a head scissors plant buster because it was getting botched like as it was happening. So they kind of turned it around to finish the match.
Well, that's his finisher down in Mexico. It's called the Mystica, and it's a head scissors to a one-arm DDT. Yeah. And it didn't come off as smooth as they probably would have liked it to, but Sin Cara was very innovative, and I think he really pulled it out.
Well, that was supposed to be a spring. It was supposed to be a springboard off the second rope.
Yeah.
It was just, I think what he was trying to traditionally do was a standalone head scissors, but because he was going too fast, Chavo couldn't really grab him correctly, so he wound up doing a face plant right in the corner, and Sin Cara picked up the win. But all in all, it was a definitely fantastic match.
Oh, it was. It wasn't
what
bad.
We expected.
Yeah, we expected it. We didn't think Chavo was gonna bring as much as we were hoping. We kind of already anticipated that with our prediction show. I do have to say, he did bring it. He just didn't bring enough to the table tonight. For our next contest, we go into the Intercontinental Championship. We see Wade Barrett defend against former core member Ezekiel Jackson. In our predictions, we kind of went either way. Either the core's going to interfere, which is what happened, or we're going to see Zeke just dominate it. And that's what I was hoping. Yeah, we did. With Zeke, did you see when he just picked up? He just went right on. I mean, my God, the guy was 6 feet up in the air, easy.
Oh, definitely.
Ate the canvas.
Actually, speaking of Wade Barrett, for those of you who don't know, WWE has Mattel figures out now. It's the TLC pay-per-view series, and Wade Barrett is part of that series, and he has the Nexus armband, which, as the figures come out, they don't, they come out from previous years. Incarnations. So that Wade Barrett figure is from last year's TLC. I think. But anyway, but I mean, to be honest, I like Wade Barrett, and I like what he did with the Nexus, and I like what he was doing with the core for a while when he was on SmackDown. But if you're gonna be booked as Intercontinental Champion, you need to kind of, go out there and do it on your own. This is another reason why I'm kind of discredited with a lot of the mid-card titles, because like the United States title, it's being booked and it's being defended properly. The Intercontinental Championship is being defended, but it's being booked, but it's not being defended properly.
Well, I mean, a perfect example, when you get to the WWE Championship match, why do you like The Miz so much?
I like The Miz because he's pretty much over as a heel, and from when we went and saw the house show...
It doesn't really, to you personal as a fan, I'm not talking about if he's over with the mainstream WWE.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's over...
Is he over with you?
He's over with me. He's definitely got the heel character down packed. He's definitely, he's the person...
Well, I guess this is a better way to shoot the question, and then we can, continue running with the card. All right. You were just discussing how you don't like how the IC title is being defended because of the interference.
Yes.
Now, Miz has thrived basically his whole career in the last 6 to 8 months off of Alex Riley's interference. Now you turn a blind eye to that just because you like The Miz, but you're not going to turn a blind eye to the IC title situation?
Because the fact is that the reason why I say that, and the reason why I stand by what I say, is because there was a time when the IC title had more prestige over the WWE Championship, and that's something where they need to get back to, where the IC title and you got the WWE Championship, they need to be right there with one another.
Well, the WWE Championship should be just a little bit higher. Then the IC should not be too far to follow.
It should be WWE Championship, it should be Intercontinental Championship.
The IC belt should be a title that I do agree that we should see more mid-card talent fight over. We should see cleaner matches. We should see more
like you
wrestling
said
matches.
in 90, like you said, from the years of '96 all the way to 2001, we had a long list of well-deserving fighting Intercontinental champions.
We did. And then not every single one of those won that belt cleanly, though.
No, not everyone, but then again, it was being...
Jeff Jarrett.
Yes, exactly, Jeff Jarrett. But to get back to the Barrett Miz, is because the fact... what it is that you got the Intercontinental Championship, which used to mean something. And
but now by taking the WWE Championship and having Alex Riley help The Miz win it or defend it or whatever he is doing, it's doing the same thing to that title. You're basically saying this is a title that can be hoarded around, and it doesn't matter if a guy gets involved in the match. Oh, he wins. Oh, it's fine. It's all good.
But here's the key factor though. Miz, main eventer, Barrett mid-carder. So they're using The Miz as a heel and having him win the way he is because they're trying to keep him level with the main eventer.
Well, you gotta think, if you really...
Barrett, to be honest, this is what I think they need to do. They need to split up the core. It's a great thing that they're doing, but it's the same thing that they did with Evolution. They spent 2 to 3 years with Evolution. We got to see guys like Orton and Batista come into the business, come into WWE, build them up, and then they went off and they did their own singles competitor thing and they took off. That's what they need to do now. I think all 3 of the remaining core members need to break apart and do their own thing.
I don't see Heath Slater or Justin Gabriel at their current state as being singles competitors. I just don't.
But they think they need to drop. Maybe just have them as
tag team.
Yeah, a tag team. Keep them as a tag team, but drop the whole core stable and have Wade Barrett go off and do his own thing so they can start pushing him. Because, I mean, again, there's guys like Barrett, Ryder, a long list of mid-carders that we don't get to see that should be on the television
Ryder
screen.
is a good talent, don't get me wrong, but I don't think we're going to see Ryder as IC champion.
No, but I mean, I think they should use a lot of their mid-card talent.
But here's also a thing to think about, too. You compare the blue brand and the red brand. On the red brand, The Miz is your top heel, and along with R-Truth is getting there. You go to the blue brand,
there's no real top heels.
The top heel's Barrett as the Intercontinental Champion.
Yes.
Orton's a tweener at best.
Okay, let's put
Christian's a face right now.
They're gonna go and they're gonna bring back feud between Orton and Punk from 2007. Maybe what they should do is they should bring back a feud between Barrett and Orton and have champion versus champion at the next pay-per-view or the pay-per-view after that.
But there wasn't really that much of a feud between Barrett and Orton in the past. I mean, there was more
Nexus brand. It was a Nexus.
But I mean, even with Orton, it wasn't. I mean, their primary goal when they were the original Nexus was John Cena.
Yeah.
But we're way off topic. Over the limit. We're SmackDown match. Like I said, Core ends up interfering, and Wade Barrett retains, which cements him yet again as the top heel on SmackDown. Which SmackDown does need a strong heel, and if they're going to transition Barrett into the title picture, the bigger title picture, then this could be.
Or maybe just put him in the main event, but don't put him in the title picture, and just have the World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton defending, then have Wade Barrett, Intercontinental Champion, defending, and just have them switch back, not switch the titles back and forth, but have them feud back and forth for a couple of weeks, so that way we could get, you could start to push Barrett into that mainstream main event status.
Well, right now, unfortunately, the mid-card.
There's
no one in the mid-card.
You have Orton and Christian in the main event on SmackDown. Pretty much.
And then they're trying to interject Mark Henry.
Yeah, which
I don't see that being very successful. It's not that I dislike Mark Henry by any means, but he fills a good niche where he is.
Mid-card.
Okay, so that
tag team title match.
Kane or Kane Show, and then right before this, you see a shot of the Lexus. That's my niece's name. The Nexus locker room, and you see Otunga and McGillicuddy laid out, and all they go is showing Kane.
Yeah,
did it. So bam, we start the match. We got CM Punk.
Oh, but before we go to the ring, we see Punk come in up, and he's like this. He's like, "Walk it off, guys.
Walk it off, guys." Yeah.
Well, whatever.
And Mason genuinely looked concerned for his teammates.
Yeah. But
he was
Punk was more concerned with the big picture, which I can kind of understand seeing.
Punk's always been concerned with the big picture. And the thing about CM Punk, guys, is a lot of you don't realize, and there's a lot of people that give a lot of criticism to CM Punk. As a technical wrestler goes, he's probably the best in the WWE right now.
Yeah.
I mean, hands down. The guy's proven himself countless times over. I mean, his stint in ROH was amazing. Then, he even was in TNA a couple times through their talent agreement.
Yeah, ROH.
Yeah. And then
his countless feuds with Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels, and even the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Incredible.
But I mean, I think technical wrestler as it goes, Punk is one of the best. I think if anyone was closer to Punk, I'd probably have to say Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan is a very Daniel Bryan's a very incredible submissions wrestler.
If they were looking for somebody, if they were looking to do something with Daniel Bryan and not have him in squash matches, maybe they should put him with his former Nexus buddies and have him in with the core.
Well,
for a little while.
I think they really anticipated. I'm a big Daniel Bryan fan, and so is JC.
I think they expected big things from him.
I think they expected more, and not that he didn't deliver in the matches. It's just that the following wasn't behind him. And they tried to give him some divas, and they tried to push him a little bit, and that was their way to try to help him out, and it just didn't work. They need to reboot, start over with DB, get him back in the U.S. or the IC title picture. I would love to see DB go at Barrett.
Yeah. But to the tag match, we saw Show Kane, and we saw Mason Ryan and CM Punk, and it was a really good contest. It was
Mason Punk.
Ryan Punk or whatever. You saw a really good back and forth match between the two teams, but the overall picture, we really didn't see much happening. They ended the match with a double choke slam on Ryan, and they picked up the win. There was a lot of speculation that the other the Nexus, that there might have been a slight possible chance of them coming out to screw
CM Punk and
screw Big Show after the jumping.
Well, yeah, or
it was a possibility that would happen.
There could have been a possibility too. Hey, CM Punk said, "Hey, walk it off, guys." Finally, they're like, you know what, screw you.
Yeah, we're not coming out to help.
Or they did come out, but they didn't help.
Yeah, exactly.
That could have been a possibility as well.
So we see the tag team champions retain.
That's the end result.
Yep. That's the end result, and then we moved into the World Heavyweight title match.
Correct. We had World Heavyweight title, then we had Cole Lawler, and then we had the quote-unquote main event. So for your secondary main event of the night, you saw World Heavyweight Champion, Randy Orton.
Again going on before Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole for the third straight pay-per-view.
Man, they must less baby oil this week, had a little bit of a beard. I mean, is there a chip on Randy Orton's shoulder backstage? No, we're just kidding.
There possibly could be, because I would be pissed off if I'm the World Heavyweight Champion and I'm being booked before.
Well, I can understand being pissed about being booked before Michael Cole, but I don't think going on before Jerry the King Lawler should be any sort of insult. The man's held over 150 championships worldwide.
I don't think it would be honest.
To be honest, heavyweight champion.
It's not so much. It's not so much the going on before Jerry the King Lawler, because I would be honored to go on before Jerry the King Lawler, but
it's Cole.
It's Cole and Lawler. It's not Jerry the King Lawler and Bret Hart. It's not Jerry the King Lawler and Jack Swagger.
We got a surprise for you guys. Stay tuned.
So it's Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole, but we saw a really good contest between Christian and Orton. Christian definitely held his own. He kicked out of an RKO. He reversed numerous RKOs.
He kicked out 2 RKOs. He reversed numerous ones. And right at the end, he almost had the kill switch engaged, man. Oh my God. I thought that was after a huge spear. Huge spear, which, very close count there. Almost had the kill switch engaged. Bam! Orton just RKO, done.
It looked like Orton was going to go for maybe a standing back body drop, but Christian reversed it and backflipped, and as he was coming back
to demonstrate for the fans?
He got caught with an RKO.
Bam!
But the end result. Orton is still the World Heavyweight Champion. They got to do something. I feel for Christian because I've been a long-time Christian fan.
I think this is going to push Christian. Christian works so hard.
16 years.
No, not just. I'm not talking about the overall picture. I'm just talking about the last few months. He's worked so hard. He finally got the title. Then he's lost it to Orton. Now he's had these battles with Orton, and they've kind of got this love-hate thing going on right now. Like, they'll work together if they're forced to. They were friendly at the post-match, you know. But
post and pre.
Well, last week on SmackDown, though, Christian was getting beat down. Orton took his time getting out. Yeah. Then Orton was getting beat down. Christian made the save to return the favor, but guess what? He took his time. Yeah. So there's a love-hate thing going on, and I see this maybe being the opening to Christian's heel turn.
Yeah.
He's going to get so fed up, so frustrated that he cannot capture the World Heavyweight Championship that he's just going to say fuck it to everything that, you know, he holds near and dear, his integrity and everything, and just go for it. And just screw it. He's going to just go for it. And I really see that happening.
Like I said, overall, we see Orton retain, and then we move
in a hard-fought match. I mean, after seeing this match, I wanted to see Christian. I'm not going to lie, but I couldn't be mad at Randy Orton.
No.
I mean, Orton.
I wasn't upset. I wasn't upset with the match. I mean, it was a very good,
he's one of the best superstars that WWE's built in the last 10 years.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
You got to give the guy credit where credit is due. Orton, hats off to you.
Then we move into Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole.
Sir Michael Cole,
which was just
my foot match.
Which is basically we just see Michael Cole get his rear end kicked.
Actually, right off the bat, you were out of the room for a second. We were watching the pay-per-view together, guys. He was out of the room for a second, but actually Cole somehow got in a couple good licks against Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh, I saw the replay when he came back in when he slammed his head on the.
You saw that. Yeah, you got to go.
But then I leave the room again, and then I hear the barbecue sauce, and I hear Eve Torres does a back moonsault.
Well, I'll run you guys through a quick recap because JC was in the kitchen making something to snack on, but bam. So, post-match, we see Eve come out. And you know Michael Cole has been really getting under Eve's skin. Every time
the divas.
Well, but it's especially Eve matches. Every time Eve has a match, Michael Cole interrupts and starts just fucking talking nonsense.
Yeah.
So, bam. Eve comes out, hits a huge moonsault. I mean, huge, off the top rope, huge moonsault on Michael Cole. Then we see Jim Ross come out. Jim Ross, dude, takes a whole thing of barbecue sauce, and this was the fucking best part of the night, man. I am glad we ordered this pay-per-view. Dude, he's pouring the barbecue sauce in the fucker's mouth, right? And you should have seen, it's just spitting out bubbles, like the guy's choking on JR's barbecue sauce. It was hilarious, right?
Either there, it must have tasted really bad.
I heard it was actually pretty good, but I've never had any myself. I'm going to have to buy a bottle, Jim.
Then we see Bret the Hitman Hart come out.
And then he locks Michael Cole into a sharpshooter, and then Jerry the King Lawler shoves his whole ass, like, big toe in his mouth.
His big toe, his middle toe, and his ring toe all in friggin' Cole's mouth. And it was just nasty. End match, we see Jerry the King Lawler pick up the victory, and we move into our main event, which was actually pretty interesting up until the last, 5 minutes.
Exactly. And hey, real quick before we jump in the main event, I do want to give one quick plug. I know I've been plugging a lot of people in the last few weeks, but this is a repeat. Most Extreme Wrestling, Crystal and Chronics. You guys are phenomenal. They produce incredible work, and it's nice to see a husband and wife team working together, talking about something that they're passionate about, which is the pro wrestling business. So guys, the link will be below. Please check them out. Now, they just hit 100 subscribers.
Yes, so congratulations on that.
Congratulations on that. And guys, I know I got enough fans out there that really like good wrestling discussions. Check these guys out. I want to see these guys hit 200 in the next week or so.
Yes.
As a personal favor to us, please.
Yes. Also, I sat down and watched a couple of his videos. Like I said, they very good content. Just to give you guys, just a quick advice, just quick little tidbit, is that where the views goes is pretty much timing. If you can sit down for 10 minutes and get a Monday Night Raw review out as soon as the show's off the air. Same thing with pay-per-views. If you could get out there and do the videos right as the pay-per-view goes off the air, even if it's just a 5-minute recap, just to let you, you guys will, it will help you out a big time.
Oh yeah, exactly.
When we first started F and True Wrestling, we were doing the videos the following day.
Or 2 days following.
Or 2 days following.
And then we were generating 7,500 views, and we were like, whoa, I mean, come on, there's some really good content. We're pouring our hearts into working hard for this, and we're not seeing any sort of...
go check the time.
Exactly, we're not seeing any sort of reaction. So I went to JC Styles one night, and I'm like, hey, dude, what you doing at 11 o'clock tonight? JC lives above me, man. We have one big house. His parents live below. Me and my wife and my kids live on the bottom floor. But I was like, JC, what you doing at 11 o'clock? Meet me outside on the back porch. We're gonna try something.
Just scratching my belly, then rolling over.
We're gonna try something. That first night, couple hundred views.
Yes.
Easy.
You.
It's also content too.
Yeah.
I mean, tonight,
go back and look at our Royal Rumble numbers.
Well, it's all about timing. It's all about content too. Once you get 1,700 subscribers, you can throw up WWE Monday Night Raw review, and you're gonna get
the day
1,000.
after.
No, but you're gonna get 1,000 views on it.
Yeah.
For us, we got to go for something, we don't try to irritate anybody. We apologize if you don't get to hear the show. 99% of the world has already known what's happened through wrestling websites or actually physically seeing the show. So, yes, we do make a little bit of blatant titles sometimes. Morrison has won. Cena's champion, this, that, or the other. It'll catch eyes, and it gravitates people towards the champion.
It stands out better.
Yeah, exactly. And I have tried to be, I know in previous videos, me and JC both were guilty of it. We put out a little bit too much pre-information, spoiler-wise.
Yes.
And we have cleaned that up, spoilers, this, that. But yet again, we're getting a little...
Most Extreme Wrestling.
Most Extreme Wrestling, check them out.
But they're most extreme, but they're not effing true wrestling.
We are effing true. And if you ain't effing true, you effing screwed. No,
but we move into the WWE Championship main event, which, like I said, was good all the way up until the final 5 minutes.
It was good. I mean, Jesus Christ, though. Between
between A-Ryan and
Kyoto was referee, right?
Yes.
So between Kyoto, between A-Ryan, and between Miz asking John Cena if he was gonna quit. Dude, they must have asked that dude at least 30 times.
They asked him like 30 times, and the answers were funny, but they weren't as funny as The Rock Mankind.
Which they totally took a cue out of that match. A-Ryan tapes John Cena going, I quit on his cell phone,
yes,
and then plays it back into the mic.
And then leaves the phone next to John Cena's limp body.
At least The Rock was slick enough to have somebody back in the gorilla position play the tape, so
exactly.
It wasn't like...
It was believable.
If you guys don't know what gorilla is a backstage position.
Where you're just like this.
Well, you're sitting in the chair, you've got all your monitors, you've got a microphone, you're connected to the announcers, you're connected to the referee, you're connected to your camera people, you control what views are being shown live. I mean, basically, it is the showrunner. It is named the gorilla position in honor of Gorilla Monsoon. He was a phenomenal athlete. If you guys are not familiar with Gorilla Monsoon, please, for our younger fans out there, check out the gorilla. In his day, he was 300 plus pounds, and
yes,
he could move like a cruiserweight. It was some incredible shit.
Yes. But the thing was, though, is that I kind of liked how he was like, when the Miz had A-Ryan had the John Cena
hanging over the ring rope,
hanging over the second rope, and the Miz was hitting him with the kendo stick. He's like, you hit like a girl. So he kept cracking him and cracking him and cracking him. I was expecting the next words to come out of his mouth. Maybe you should go back to reality TV. That's what I was expecting him to say.
Oh, that would have been classic.
That would have been funny. But this is
the part where he said he had no balls. He's like, I'm hitting you with a leather strap, John.
He's like, you got the leather strap, but you got no nuts. But the thing is,
that's why I like Cena. I like Cena. He's not my favorite guy, but I like Cena because of the one-liners and the funny shit.
Whether or not A-Ryan was there to help or not, The Miz showed his mean streak today.
Miz showed his mean streak, but it ain't hard to beat a guy 2-on-1. And like I said, I'm not...
We've seen many 2-on-1.
If I had to pick my top wrestlers of the era, I'm not going to say it's John Cena. I'm not going to say The Miz. I'm not going to say Randy Orton. They're all... I defend myself every time I say this, and you guys already know the gist. They're all phenomenal talent that I all enjoy, but they're not my top.
Yeah.
And, it's... John Cena's a funny fucking guy. The Miz can wrestle. Let them go. Like, I would have liked to not see Riley, but it was kind of clever. I mean,
I'm sorry.
You nasty bastard.
For those of you who've seen Shaun of the Dead, I'm sorry, Brian. But anyway, ooh, it smells good too.
This bastard had a big can of beans while we were watching over the he was like, a little red pepper.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the match. I definitely enjoyed seeing the Miz's mean streak because he needs to harness that in one-on-one, one-on-one clean matches. But Triple H does it to the best. is that when he feels like he's got his back against the corner, he's going to come out with the mean streak and come out swinging. And the Miz needs to kind of like watch some old footage from like other wrestlers and see how he can control that mean streak and use it to his advantage, so he's not going out and he's not using A-Rye or other outside help.
Well, I think that's the thing. I think they wanted people to be so disgusted with The Miz about what he did that come Capital Punishment, people are going to want to see this rematch. People are going to want to see John Cena. And somehow there'll be a stipulation as John Cena and The Miz one-on-one for the WWE Championship and this, that, or the other.
This is going to be their final confrontation, the winner takes all, or whatever.
Whatever the tagline may be.
Put these guys in a Hell in a Cell or a Steel Cage, or, no, Hell in a Cell, weapons, whatever, and let them just tear each other apart and let the best man walk out of the hell.
I know tomorrow night on Raw, Alex Riley's getting his ass handed to him by John Cena. Not my favorite guy or not, he's getting his ass handed to him.
So overall, we see the referee reverse the decision on the tape.
That's after the tape recorder incident we were speaking about earlier.
Then we see the match restarted, and that's the last 5 minutes of when
Not even 5 minutes. I mean, the match restarts. Alex Riley's got John Cena held like this with his arms back. Miz goes to hit him with the WWE Championship. John Cena ducks, bam, there goes A-Rye.
No. The Miz gets hits in the face with the title. A-Rye gets the AA on the announcer's table.
You're right. And then we end up seeing him go up towards the ramp. And when it went up towards the ramp, there was a lot of speculation. It was not confirmed. That's why we didn't put out a video. We didn't want to get some of your fans' hopes up who this might have been your favorite wrestler.
But I see it happening at Capital Punishment because it will be in Washington, D.C.
Very likely that there's a chance. Strikeforce got bought out. Everybody knows Batista's deal went south. There's been some speculation that he might return to WWE.
Rather sooner than later.
And I would have, over the limits where he was taken out the previous year, I would have loved to see, right as they ended up at the top of the ramp, for him to do something big. Or I thought maybe we were going to see a repeat with John Cena going to AA Miz off one of those cars, kind of like what he did with Batista at last year's Over the Limit. But, I mean, to kind of wrap this up, end result, STF on the top of the ramp, and he quit within, 10 seconds?
Yes.
I mean, kind of a lame finish to a pretty brutal contest. I mean, John Cena got whipped countless times. Yes. It was great, though. To get up to that ramp, John Cena whipped him like a freaking Clint Eastwood movie. Yeah. He was like, hiya, hiya, hiya.
But overall, this pay-per-view, out of a 10, I'd probably give it about a 7. I think that's being very reasonable.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't a bad pay-per-view, but it wasn't a good.
Dude,
it wasn't an awesome
Michael
pay-per-view.
Cole like regurgitating on JR's barbecue sauce. Dude, you saw the little spit.
That's easily worth three stars right there.
Right there.
But
right there. Dude, we didn't mention this. Yo, from last week to this week, they made Michael Cole's foot look insanely nasty.
I don't know.
But
I don't even want to think about it because I might regurgitate the pork, the beans and franks. But anyway, guys, this has been our and salt. But anyway, guys, this has been our Over the Limit review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you sat through the whole video. Our taglines were...
Well, if they didn't sit through the whole video, then they wouldn't hear this.
Yes. But our taglines were effing true wrestling and we're effing awesome.
Or the real taglines, Miz fan, you're either effing true or you're effing screwed, or learn to love it because it's the best thing on YouTube today. Before we close out, check out Most Extreme Wrestling. And guys, that's all we got for right now for effing true wrestling. This has been Brian Crazy,
JC Styles, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
And have yourselves a phenomenal evening. Now, won't you? Are you going to turn the camera off or bye?
I don't know. Because now we have to cut that.